All right, everyone, welcome back into another Prize Picks video. Going to be getting into the top prop bets for this Taco Tuesday. That's right, it's profit day. Let's go in and get into it. But first, just a quick recap from yesterday. Had a very tilting slip yesterday. I want to touch. So yes, the hot streak did continue yesterday. So this one hit pretty easily. This is not the tilt. This was the tilting slip. So Daniel Gafford ended up getting injured during that game, missing his over. It seemed like he was well on his way to getting there. And personally, I thought, like, just looking at the box score without checking anything, I was like, oh, they just didn't give him the final rotation run. I thought that was kind of strange, given the fact that it was a close game. No, he got injured. And so that one hurt, definitely. And that's just been something that's been happening over the past, like, 2 months, where kind of some unlucky beats in there, I would say. Like him getting injured, that kind of hurt. Now, yes, you would argue, well, Vucevic could have easily been under. Sure, that's true as well. But all in all, these are more polarizing, and that did hurt a little bit. But let's go ahead and get into the top prop bets for Taco Tuesday. But right now, yes, we are gaining a taco right now. I did this video a little bit later so I could give you guys more kind of accurate picks for the day. A lot of people are going to ask, what do you think about the SGA prop? Guys, we just always roll with the tacos. So they're hitting about 80% of the time. It's just a discount. You always take significant discounts like that. In the long run, it's going to reward you. And then obviously last week we went 5 for 5 Taco Tuesday wise with the slip. Not expecting that. I mean, the goal is to go at least 3 for 5 on Taco Tuesday days. Hopefully we can keep the hot streak up. But looking at it right now, I do like the fact that we are getting a lot of NBA props. Not so much fantasy score props just yet, but a lot of points, rebounds, and assist props for the most part. So let's go ahead and take a peek at the best NBA props that we're getting right now. And so the one, and it's kind of crazy, we're getting one game for fantasy score props, and one of the better ones is going to be KCP for over his fantasy score. We can see slight edge here for the most part. The average sportsbook line would pretty much be favoring 22 for him. And that would basically be a 52% chance to hit. So at 20.5, that's a slight edge that we are getting there. From there, are we getting any other significant edges? Not really. I mean, Joel Embiid maybe on underdog for points and assists. That would be something you guys could potentially look at. But for now, I mean, just not that many prop bets today for NBA just in general, with a lot of teams playing yesterday, but also just not getting that many great prop bets in general for the day right now. Don't be surprised if Embiid sits though. He was questionable heading into yesterday's game. I kind of expected him to play yesterday. Played really well, but it's back into back-to-back. It wouldn't be too shocking to see him sit, and obviously if he sits, we're getting prop bets for Maxey and whatnot. Those would be ones that get bumped, so that'd be risk reward there, but all in all, nothing too crazy. Now jumping into college basketball, I do want to point out just the fantasy score props that we are getting right now. Not too many big discrepancies right now. I mean, Zach Edey for over 43.5 for fantasy score is one that I'm going to be running out. We see the projection data likes him at 48.7. The average sportsbook line would have this at 44. So at 43.5, we see that's a slight edge, about 53% chance to hit. But part of the reason as to why I like this is we can also bet the under on underdog. It's an okay middling opportunity. We know the issue that we have with Edey was the fact that he can get a lot of blocks and really vault his fantasy score just by getting 3 blocks and whatnot. This was one that really burnt us on the last slate. PJ Hall, we had his under fantasy score. I believe it was on PrizePicks because they were higher than underdog and it was being favored there. Again, this will be a better bet on underdog right now. I just want to point that out. But the opposing big in the game was ruled out, and so PJ Hall had himself a good game. But we're going to see, guys, we're not getting any other really good fantasy score props on PrizePicks. They're just all pretty much right. The only big prop line difference that we have is Zach Edey there. So take a peek at the rest of the prop bets that we are getting, and it's pretty tight board as a whole, college basketball wise. Again, not that many big edges there as a whole. So right now, I think we have 2 decent props that we have: KCP over fantasy score and Zach Edey over fantasy score. Let's go ahead and take a peek at the discrepancies. And so looking at the discrepancies, we are getting some kind of decent edges, I would say. Like this one, I like a decent amount for aces. We can bet the over 5.5 on PrizePicks. Again, if you want to try middling, you could bet the under and underdog. It's not a terrible way to hedge. I'm okay with that. Let's see here. We're seemingly getting a lot of tennis props. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight it by tennis and see the biggest prop line differences that we have. So we have, this is a big difference here as well. Total games at 41.5. Like this is a big difference. 3 for total games is a big difference. So I don't mind the idea of betting the under there as well. Let's flip it the other way. Not too crazy. Again, like bet the over aces there. That's decent. But yeah, kind of some interesting tennis props. And then jumping into hockey, we're not really getting that many big edges to me, because you look at like shots on goal here, we can see this one is heavily favored to be a push, but the projection data likes that 3.7. So to me, that's going to be one that I'm staying away from. Same thing here. Like the projection data does like us to stay away from that. So I might just end up rolling with these where we're getting a pretty big edge there, 54% for these ones to hit. Again, I'm kind of fine with with those. Here's another shots on goal one where, you know, the projection data doesn't exactly agree. So it is a tighter day than, you know, typically we would like, but that does seem to be true for Taco Tuesday. And this is coming off of a Monday that, you know, guys, typically Mondays are not as good as it was yesterday. Typically those are tight boards as well. But today is even more tight because of, you know, NBA playing throughout the whole day and whatnot. We saw some pretty big edges because of that. So all in all, tight board today. All in all, I'm finding it tough to give you guys 5 slips or 5 bets. I'll give you 6, but just know the goal is really 4 out of 6 or, you know, really 3 out of 5 for your taco bets. You know what, guys? Give me 1 second here. We got some more fantasy score props coming in now. So let me refresh the data. We got some for that Phoenix Kings game coming in. So I want to take a peek at that before I end the video. All right. So I just hit a refresh because we got some more fantasy score props. And I'm glad I did because De'Aaron Fox is pulling in there as a good fantasy score bet for the over. Now, he has been a little bit in a drought, I guess, if you will, or down spell. Oh no, you know, that's something that we expect to get corrected. So I know he's been called out on this a couple of times now, but all in all, I'm kind of fine with it. And again, I do want to call it, like, I don't think Embiid's going to sit, but if he were to sit, like, this would be a massive edge that we are getting on Maxey. So that's a decent one there as well. But yeah, we are getting, you know, 2 good prop bets now, fantasy score wise, for NBA, which is nice because the tennis props that we're getting, those are on Wednesday. So typically I like to recommend prop bets that are today. One, it's easier for me to keep track of the bet of the day record that I put in the description of each video. But 2, I know a lot of you guys like to just have the sweat for that day as well. So guys, this was going to be my bet slip for the day for you guys, but good thing I did the data refresh because we're going to add in De'Aaron Fox, and this one also just got bumped and taken away. So I'm glad I waited. And so again, I know that the tennis props take place on Wednesday. A lot of people do not like to wait for those. Those are decent middling opportunities. If you don't want to use those, I get it. Hopefully the board updates throughout the day and we get better prop bet. Do want to call out that if you guys want access to the tools, just head on over to 9to5sports.com. This is available for just $10 a month. Included in that is also the fantasy golf tools, which it's an insane value. Let's just put it that way. And I priced it that way for you guys so that you guys can get access to this type of information at a relatively cheap cost, you know, $10 a month. But looking at it, guys, I'm okay with these 2 fantasy score props. Those are 2 of the better prop bets that we're getting. And then De'Aaron Fox we saw as a good prop bet. This is a good EV bet. Again, I can't guarantee that this is going to be there by the time you guys watch this video, but these are the current best prop bets that I see on the board. Hopefully they cash. And again, I like to pair these up with tacos individually. So I'm going to go SGA and KCP in a slip. I'm going to go Zach Edey and SGA in a slip. And then I'm going to go De'Aaron Fox and SGA in a slip, Adam Fox in a slip together with SGA. And then I would choose between one of these 2 or hopefully another better prop bet pops up throughout the day. But that's going to be all for today's video. Make sure to give a like and subscribe. Seriously though, like, we should be getting to at least 100 likes per video. I don't really ask too much out of you guys. I like to give this content for free and really just let you guys soak in whichever information you want, but that'd help out the channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Let's have a good slate. And as always, let's keep cashing.